Hello, you are viewing an introductory video on the SeaReport software from Nortek. SeaReport is designed for users to open up current profiler data files, view the data, perform quality controls, statistical analysis, and finally generate a printable version of a report. As a first step, why don't we open up a data file? So I'm going to select this data file here, which is an Aqueduct current profiler. I'm going to reprocess it since I've already opened this up before. And you'll see here that as a first step, the user will choose whether it's referenced to the water or the instrument, the expected orientation, which is up, and then the user will select 3 levels. Here they're referenced to the surface, so it's 10 meters depth, 20 meters depth, and 30 meters depth. So we'll import the data file now. And then after the importing is completed, we will then perform quality controls on the data, extract the 3 levels we're interested, and then pops up the data. So what you see here now is a time series of the sensor data. So you'll have the pressure in blue, the tilt in green, the temperature in red. The pink strips here indicate where the data did not pass its quality control. So you see in the beginning when it's probably not submerged yet, and then several instances throughout the deployment where the data was questionable. The next thing we can do is we can look at the velocities. So I'm going to click on this up here and show velocities. So you have an indication of the speeds of the 3 different levels at 10 meters, 20 meters, and 30 meters. The user may also show the directions, which pops up on top of this. And clearly this can be a little bit messy or too much data at one time, so we can deselect certain levels and keep just one level that's of interest. So here we're just showing the top level. Now the next thing I want to show you is that we have the details of the deployment over here on the left, and then under that we can select a location on a map for where the deployment was made. So I'm just going to arbitrarily select a location somewhere here in Norway. And let's put the red cursor somewhere along the coast here and select. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select a time series, which is indicated here, and I can do this by dragging the sidebars to a more interesting part where we know we have good data. Once we've selected a time selection, then we can look a little bit closer at this data by going down to these icons down here and selecting on the buttons associated with each icon. For currents, it is indicated by a top, middle, and bottom, and we're going to select the green middle and get a closer look at the speeds during this time selection. So you see here a plot of the speeds for this time selection. Now you can do this on any one of the parameters, which includes also the statistics that we've generated. For example, here we have a histogram, and you can look at the speed histogram for the middle layer. One may also be interested in looking at a rose plot. So here I'm generating a rose plot showing where the currents were statistically traveling between, overlaid on top of the map. Now, without going into detail about all these different statistics and time series that you may look at, I'm going to jump right to the report generating feature, which is the last step users usually will use. You can generate a report either in a Word format or in Excel. So I'm going to generate a Word document here. And now it'll go through a step of generating a report. So the user will give a title, report, Nortek, and that is myself, of course. Generate the report. save this file. I'm going to replace the existing one. And then it goes through a step of generating a report. Now finally you see here the Word report that has been generated with all the interesting time series, statistical analysis, and summary overall. So this is generally a quick overview of how the SeaReport works, which allows you to view your data, quality control it, generate statistical analysis, and finally provides you with a printable version of a report where you can add text in to all the different plots that have been automatically generated. Thank you for listening.